afternoon, and you're welcome to the first Citizens Parliament powered by News.Band Television. Now, today we are going to have an open discussion about the effects of the IPOB weekly sit at home on the lives of people in Southeast. And here as our panelists, we have Onyinye Mino and Oluwayomi Samuel. We're already discussing with Mino. Mino, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
What do you think
Hi.
about the sit at home strategy?
I don't know, from my own viewpoint, I don't think it's really favoring them. I mean, I was having an argument with someone one time, and I was like, diplomacy would be a better approach, like going to Aso Rock or wherever they decide to have the meeting with the federal government. I just feel like diplomacy would be better, but the sit at home is hurting us more because I just feel like the people that are holding the man, Nnamdi Kanu, I don't think they care. I mean, they've not really shown consent since the sit at home started, and I just feel like we're hurting ourselves more. Staying at home, I don't really see the point, actually.
Okay, remember that this is an open discussion, and if you're interested in joining this discussion, just simply raise up your digital hand, and I'll try to call as much people as I can. Samuel, are you there? Samuel? Samuel? Okay, while we are trying to wait for Samuel to give us his own view on the weekly sit at home. Onye, let me ask you this. You just said that you think it's hurting us more. Has this sit at home affected you in any way?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, since I became a copper, I've really not had enough time. I'm just going to be very honest and frank here. I just see it as an extra public holiday, honestly. You know, extra day to do what I have to do and to not go to work and do what I have to do at home. I don't really see it as anything that deep. It has not really affected me, but I know there are people that it affects because there are people that what they eat every day, like they have to go out every single day to get what they eat every day. They don't like have something, they don't have a reservoir where they can like get, if they don't like go out to work that day, they're not going to eat that day. So I just feel like it's not fair to those kind of people, and there are like a lot of them out there. But personally, for me, it doesn't really affected me because I'm an entrepreneur and I work from home. So whether there is a public holiday or not, I'm
Okay,
still going to.
are you currently in Anambra State?
Yes.
Okay, and let us go back to Samuel. Samuel,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you. You've heard what we have asked. Are you affected by the sit at home also?
Yeah, presently I'm not at the east, but I've had people there, friends and family talk about, and as Oyinbo said, I totally agree that it has actually caused more harm. Looking at this from the point of view that the major cause for the agitation was the fact that they are being excluded. Now, I think you now trying to exclude yourself from the economy is not a better way to try to counteract the major cause for the agitation in the first place. So I feel it has really affected, and it will still continue to affect. It's just like you are nailing yourself to the cross and you expect another person to feel the pain. As you have said, Onyinye said, these people that are holding Kano, they don't care, and they don't seem like they will care. They are going about as if everything is going, nothing is happening to the GDP of the country, and they can continue going about their business. So I feel some battle needs to be lost so that you can strategize and regroup, so that you can now come back again to fight the battle with a different strategy. So I feel the strategy the sit-at-home strategy is not working and doing more harm to the economy, to the indigenous people of Indigo, much more than the results they want to. And I feel like when you are trying a strategy and you are not seeing results, the best thing for you to do is just halt, regroup, then refire.
Okay, talking about strategy now, this sit at home is seen as a peaceful protest, like you said, to promote the agitations for Biafra. What other strategy can they use apart from this sit at home? I'm talking to you, Samuel.
Yeah, I feel one of the strategies that can be employed is actually discussions, strategic discussions towards moving forward. We've seen from the NSAS protest, even here, the one that it was peaceful and it was halting. We saw the way the government responded to it. So I think one of the best ways they can do is also like have table discussions, round table discussions with executives. One of the inclusion, they are fighting for exclusivity. They feel like they are being excluded. So I think one of the very best thing you can do now is also try to include yourself and streamline yourself into the government. Try to infuse, look for IPOB people that are holding prominent position in the political government that can serve as a voice to amplify their opinions to Nigerian government. I feel that could work. That could serve as a starting point that can give room and open to more strategies that can be employed to ensure that the Igbo people, the IPOB, they can get more included or get to have their own sovereign nation as they are fighting for.
Okay, let me go back to Winnie. Winnie, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
Do you agree that so far this sit at home has been peaceful? Do you agree that it's a peaceful protest, or have you witnessed any forms of violence that has been forcing people to actually sit at home on Mondays?
Well, I think it has been so far a peaceful protest, but then there's been like little bouts of violence in the sense that if you like come out on a Monday like this, what you see you collect. There was a time a truckload of goods, a container of goods for someone was on the road. Someone was driving the truck. They burnt down everything, and that's container contained goods worth millions of naira. And then there was also another time, they burnt someone's car, they burnt someone's bus. I'm like, when I see all this news, I'm like, why are you hurting your people? If you're burning these cars and destroying these goods, it's not going to have any effect. I just feel like this peaceful protest, yes, it's peaceful, but then it's also an excuse for hoodlums to just act anyhow and just, cause chaos in this East. And as a result of, since the whole IPOB agitation got deeper and, more popular, there has been, a lot of chaos, a lot of instability, a lot of insecurity in this Southeast, which was once very peaceful. There are people like unknown gunmen. Nobody knows if it is the IPOB or if it is, like Anambra and the Southeast as a whole has not been safe since this whole agitation got deeper and more popular. So I don't even know if it is doing us more harm than good.
Okay, I'm going to read out a text message from someone that reacted to this topic, and it says, "This has already destroyed Southeast economy, yet some weird guys are applauding IPOB on this. Southeast has become a friendly territory to most non-Igbos. Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, Maiduguri, etc. were developed by non-indigens, and yet we've become most unwelcoming tribe in Nigeria. The Jews developed US, Europe, and Russia. Yet the Igbos want to live in isolation. Southeast economy loses 500 billion naira every Monday in sales income from our various markets. Soon, customers will start turning to alternative markets elsewhere and putting at risk the fate of 6 million Igbo traders across the country." Now, do you agree with this sentiment, Onye?
I agree very much with it because I know how many times I've asked all these Biafran agitators, have you even like set up reforms? Let's say, okay, today they decide to give you for Biafra. If you isolate yourself, like, have you like, do you have allies that you trade with? Because if you're isolating yourself from the rest of Nigeria, there are consequences. You don't expect your relationship to be like it was when everybody was one Nigeria. Have you thought of all this, or you just? I see it as a blind rage because you are just angry. You don't even know. You've not even like set out what you want. You've not written down. Okay, this is how we're going to organize the Southeast after we've gotten um, um, Biafra. You just know that you want to be fighting. Fighting for what? And then I just feel like we don't have love in this area. We don't have a sense of brotherhood in this Southeast. Everybody's like, we're on your own. So I'm like, if we actually separate from Nigeria, people would the next person with an individual beside you in this Southeast even care if you've eaten or not? Because I still feel like it's still the rich that are going to share the remaining few resources after we've separated. So I know that it's going to really dilapidate our economy. Even when they fought the Biafran War in from 1967 to 1970, that we're trying to separate from Nigeria, it did us more harm than good. And I just feel like if they keep going this way, history might have to repeat itself. So I think it's a bad idea.
Okay, let's talk to Samuel. Samuel, are you there? Samuel, I think he's muted. Samuel, I've asked you to unmute. Okay. Um, while we are waiting for him, then Samuel, have you unmuted? Okay, while we are waiting for him, let me ask you: now the people arguing for the sit at home are saying that just like there was a park case of United States of America that addressed racism with the bus boycotts, that this sit at home is necessary to cripple the economy and fight against systematic decay. But do you agree with this sentiment?
Can you come again?
I said just as the bus boycotts in
Yeah,
America
yeah.
fought against racism,
Mm-hmm.
people that have argued for the sit at home are saying that it is necessary to cripple the economy of the Southeast in order to bring shine light to the systematic decay and help the agitation. Do you agree with this?
I disagree. Why? Because Nigeria is not as organized as the USA. Number one, um, Nigeria as a whole, even without this whole Biafra stuff, is a very corrupt country because the people have this sense of you're on your own. Everybody's on their own. I mean, I've watched. I feel like the U.S. Congress, any the governments care about their citizens over there. So even if we try to copy that, this worked out for them is because they cooperated. But we don't have that cooperation here. Nigerians don't have cooperation with them. Because if we had cooperation, then the bad governance would have ended a long time ago. If we can't check bad governance now, what makes us think that getting Biafra, even if we say, okay, let's sacrifice and cripple our economy, we might just never come back from that, and our race might be wiped off. So this
Let
country
us
with the
hear.
foundation, what?
All right, thank you. Let us hear from Mr. Inumba. Mr. Inumba, I can see your hand is up. Mr. Inumba, your hand is up. Okay, while we're waiting for Mr. Inumba, I can see that Samuel is trying to talk. Mr. Inumba, kindly make me a co-host so I can unmute Samuel.
Yes, mine is to ask a question. Obviously, these news reports we have this morning about INEC ad hoc staff resigning because of the security situation, and now also there is this rumor that IPOB will declare a 7-day sit-down protest during the time of the Anambra election. We all know is coming up on the 6th of November. Now, my question is, do you think this election will go ahead under the circumstances? Will the corpers feel safe if called upon to work as ad hoc and next staff, maybe in any way with regards to the election? What do you think?
Well, like we've been told that LGIs, yes, we're going to go ahead with due process, but we've also been told that we're the chief security officers of our lives, and that if we feel like we're not safe, we do what we have to do to stay safe. So honestly, we're just going to keep going with the flow and see how it goes. But we don't have any, like, if it doesn't work out, obviously, I know I won't put my life at risk for the election. It wouldn't be rational.
Okay, let us hear from Samuel. Samuel, your hand is also up.
Okay, sorry, I don't know. It's saying the host can allow. So yeah, going back to the former question, that was passed to me concerning still looking at the question you talked about no reforms by the IPOB, yeah, which I totally agree with. Now, one of the things that is most baffling to me concerning the agitation is the fact that they are trying to, exclude themselves and turn themselves into a country, and there's really no structure that we can see or we know of. And as Onye said, if they are granted today, what do they have in place? Now, we can actually just see, imagine they are running a kind of mini country within Nigeria itself. The leader, Kano, was arrested and is looking as if there's no progress with IPOB. They halt every movement of the movement until Kano is being released from detention. All they are just after is he being released, which I feel it just shows the fact that they are not yet ready and they are not taking the right strategies towards getting what they want. So I feel like getting a reform, getting a structure in place would help get diversification strengthens the movement. When they can have a mini constitution within themselves, they can go ahead to have delegate things within themselves, have a running structure, so that the movement is not allocated to a person, but you can see that it is allocated to a vision and a mission. I think it's going to help them to easily, pass across their message. Then concerning the election, well, I feel based on what I've been hearing from my friends around, I'm not really sure it's going to be 100% peaceful. People, will be agitating. Hoodlums and bandits will use that as avenue to, want to, spark up. And it's just like we know from sociology. Anytime there's heat hanging around the air, those are the times where it is mostly that can be influenced to cause war or little, agitation here and there. So I don't think it's going to be 100% peaceful on November 6th.
Hey, remember that you can join this station simply by raising up your digital hand. And this is Citizens Parliament. So it's not an exclusive interview with just two people. No. You can become part of the panelists just by raising up your hand, and you can also make your contributions and ask a question. Now let me ask you, Samuel, you're not in the Southeast currently, right? Samuel, did I lose you again? Okay, Samuel, I've asked you to mute. While you're doing that, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, you're not in the southeast currently.
Yes, I am not.
Okay, now as someone outside the southeast, do you feel safe traveling to the southeast?
Sorry, can you come again?
I say, as someone that is not in the southeast, how do you view the situation in the southeast? Do you feel safe traveling into the southeast?
Presently, no. Election period, no. Anytime aside election period, I think presently I feel, let's say, from what I've been hearing, 60% safe to go. But during election, I don't think it's going to be safe for me myself to travel southeast.
Okay, let us hear from News.Band. Mr. Lumba.
Yes, my question is, what is the view of our discussants this morning, which was the question we also put to the INEC chief in Anambra State last week, even though he has not come back to us. Do you think this 6th November election should be postponed in view of this dire security situation in Anambra State?
Okay. So if this is a country that really cares about the life of its citizen, it is, I feel it should be something that should be postponed. But we've seen over and over and over time that the country does not care about the lives of the citizen. We've seen bandits raid in the northern states. We've seen people as high as 50 people die in a single day, and nothing happens. The country did not mourn. No holiday, no stay at home, no compensation. We've seen this happen over and over and over and over again, which I think the INEC or the federal government will not put that into consideration. So they will want to uphold. But if you are looking at the security of things, whenever there's an agitation, I think it is right to actually, fix that. But the issue based and the constitution provides for that. But we feel that when it is not in their own interest, they don't, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people are having speculations that they might want to bring the part of the constitution and bring that, when there's an unrest in a country, election can be postponed during the presidential election because of now, that it can be towards their favor. But now, but me, I feel like there is a lot of threats around, and if the lives of the citizen is really paramount to the government, it is advisable that they find a way, either hold a press conference, or find something to do before the election, rather than just ignoring the threats and running the election.
Okay, Mr. Number, your hand is still up.
Can we also get Onyinye's view? Do you think this Anambra election should be postponed until normal security is assured, both for the voters and the INEC staff as well? Even the NYSC coppers who are going to work during the election. Do you think this election should be postponed?
I don't see the point to it being postponed, because you said something about normal security. I don't think normal security is going to return as far as they're agitating for Biafra. I think there's no point to changing the date. If they can hold the election on 6th of November, they should hold the election. But then the indigenous people of Biafra, I don't think they want the election to hold. So there's no point to postponing it or shifting the date. I feel like they'll still try to stir up something that is going to cause a hitch in the electoral process. So I don't see the point of postponing it. If they can hold it now, if it is possible for them to hold it now, I think they should.
Okay, let me just say something here. When IPOB first declared sit at home on Monday, people obeyed and sat at home. And now eventually we got information that the IPOB, being led by Nnamdi Kanu, eventually said there is no more Monday sit at homes. And yet people continue to stay at home out of fear. And now we are hearing rumor that IPOB said people must sit at home the week of the election. So even if they come back to that tomorrow and say, don't worry, we have now changed our mind, do you think people will still sit at home on that day? And will you feel safe sitting in an election booth, waiting for them there, seeing that even militants have gone to kill people who attended political rallies? Will you sit on an election booth waiting for, if you're afraid of your life, waiting for people to come and vote?
Okay, so I feel like in this insecurity, I mean, Nigeria has always had an issue of insecurity since its inception from independence, and over the years it has just gotten worse. And one thing is that I noticed is that it's becoming a trend. Oh, everybody's seeing that people are causing chaos and they're not being checked about it. They're not being punished. They're not being called. They're not like being punished for it. So they feel like if this person can do it, I can do it. So this thing goes, for me, it goes beyond IPOB. This insecurity is not just about IPOB. Even if tomorrow IPOB comes and says, let's stop the sit at home and do the election, people is still not going to be safe coming out of election, because maybe it may now be an inter-party rivalry where thugs might be sent by each party to just cause havoc at any electoral booth. So with or without IPOB, I feel like there's still going to be heavy insecurity on the day of election. So
Okay, remember that you can join this conversation simply by raising the digital hand. And it's an open discussion, so feel free to ask your questions or make your contributions. And we are talking about the effects of the IPOB weekly sit at home in the Southeast. And our panelist here today is Onyinye Mino and Oluwayomi Samuel. So now we have spoken about the election, but remember, Onyinye, that Anambra State in particular suffers from a serious condition of political apathy. Are you sure that this is not just an excuse to, continue exercising our political apathy, or are people truly afraid for their lives?
I'm going to speak for myself. I think I am truly afraid for my life. I mean, there is no security in place to protect me, and I'm sure a lot of people think like that. If there was provision for security, yes, I would happily go and vote. Even someone that's suffering from political apathy today might decide to stop suffering. But then Nigeria only promotes that spirit of political apathy in its citizens because it has not really provided any form of security. It has not assured them in any way that if you come out to vote, you're safe to vote and your vote counts. They always see where elections are rigged. So Nigeria is only helping its citizens promote that spirit of political apathy.
Yeah, listen to Elder Tango Ugochukwu. Elder Ugochukwu, be on mute and join the
Can you hear me?
conversation.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, good day. I'm on the road. That's why I didn't on my camera, but no problem. But I'm interested in what you are saying. Although I'm not the one driving, so I off the camera. So about election voting, for me, I support an election and I support let us vote, because last time census, the time of census, we didn't participate and they use it against us. So I love IPOB. IPOB is doing great. Without IPOB, we have nothing. But they should allow this election to go on. That's my take. Because the politicians are selfish, capitalize in every situation and make the better use of it for themselves. If Anambra didn't vote, these people have already got the result. They must call result. They must put the agent. They must put the agent there. So, and I could have talked much, but I'm on the road. So this is my take. So I support let there be election and let the people's vote count. Because if people didn't vote, these people must have a result already in their hand. And if Anambra fail, Igbo land fail, for all Southeast is gone. That's their plan. This security problem is there. Look at what happened in Imo. The killing of the ships, our traditional rulers. Police was invited. Here I showed the local government chairman have said his own story, and it's real that the police came there and left. Why? Why such a permanent people? The permanent peoples, the traditional rulers, should be left alone, left loose in this type of situation. Bagu is not there, police is not there. It's terrible. So this everything sounds funny. There's many questions to ask. Thank you, Elumba.
Thank you so much. Let us see if we have any reaction from our panelists. Samuel, I've asked you to unmute.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said?
You said?
Did you hear what Oda Ugochukwu said?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any reaction to that?
Nothing in particular. Nothing much in particular. Well, as it were, as Onye said, we've never had any assurance that our votes we can't. But still, we've just been doing the vote. So if they can allow the election to hold and roll, yeah, they should. But I don't feel like they should put measures in place to address the threat on ground before, it just shouldn't be ignored and acted as if there is no threat on ground. So that's
now, speaking of putting measures in place, do you think that an increased presence of military security agents, the Nigerian military, will actually do anything to alleviate the fear of IPOB in the Southeast, especially in Anambra State?
It might not eliminate, but I think it's going to reduce in a large extent the threat that might want to happen. Yeah, here we have military men on ground, and they can do their work based on their training. I feel they can help reduce the amount of threat or that we, or potential, banditry that will break out during the election day.
Okay, remember now that the people of Anambra State in particular have a serious fear for the Nigerian military and other security agents. And also we have seen cases where the IPOB members attack police stations. So that is what is leading to this question now. Will the police force be able to curb the violence that IPOB is threatening?
I'm putting in fact that the IPOB themselves, they are actually, whenever they don't want to see military presence, they feel like, the more the military people come in, and that's why actually tactical training has to come in. We have different units inside the army, which I feel like it might not eliminate the fact, they will come, they'll be angry, but I feel like there's a way and there's an tactical way the police and the military can attack themselves, attack the situation on ground that might, reduce, that's why I said not eliminate, reduce the reaction that they might get from IPOB member.
Okay, let us hear from Onye. Onye, did you hear the question? Onye, are you there? Onye? Okay,
Yeah.
while we're waiting
Hi.
for Onye, hear the question. Did you hear the question
Hello?
I asked Samuel? Yes,
No,
I can hear you now.
No, there was a break in the network.
Okay, I was asking if it is advisable for there to be an increased military presence in Anambra State, considering the fact that the people have a fear for the security agencies, and also IPOB have attacked police stations. Do you think that an increased presence is going to help matters?
Well, as far as first of all, we would want to know why the people are afraid of the military in this Anambra State. It's possible because a lot of them believe that the military are here to get them. They're not here to protect them. They're here to kill them. So that's why many of them even cling so hard onto IPOB, because they just feel like, okay, this is their brother, this is their um, own cultural agitation. But I think I think as far as the military has our best interest at heart, then there should be increased military presence as far as they are here to actually protect us and not to kill us and even cause more havoc. I mean, I've
Okay,
read
I
several
want to.
situations where,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay, I said the government of
your voice is breaking.
once came out to say that the perpetrators of these violent acts in Anambra State are actually outsiders, are not members of Anambra State. Okay, I said that the governor of Anambra State, Governor Willie Obiano,
Yes.
once came out to say that our people are outsiders, are not members of. Do you
I
hear
didn't get
me?
that. Oh.
Okay, I said the governor, Willie Obiano, once came out to say that
Mm.
the perpetrators of this criminal act are people outside Anambra State. Do you agree with this?
I don't. It's not really an agree and disagree situation. I just feel like it's a defense mechanism. It's trying to. He doesn't want it to seem like under his governance that this whole insecurity is going on, and it seems that he's doing nothing about it. So I just see it as a defense mechanism. It's not really a. I don't agree or disagree. Hello.
I hear you, Mr. Lumba.
Oh, I didn't know you called me. Okay, I think my last question would be, do you think that if for any reason, or if because of this security reason, people stay at home on the election day and the turnout was very low, will you consider the election legitimate?
Um.
Because that will help the government determine whether they to go ahead with the election or not. So if people stay at home because of security concerns, or even if on that day election officials fail to turn up to conduct the election, what happens? And so will you consider the election legitimate, the result from the election legitimate?
Well, if the government is trying to have, if they want to have a fair election, free and fair election, with such a situation where they experience low turnout and self, it's possible that the electoral staff did not show up. It's just normal. It's only sensible to call off the election to further notice. But then if they go ahead with it, then I just feel like they've always had ulterior motive and we just gave it to them on a platter of gold.
Okay, thank you so much. That is much as we can take on today's edition of Citizens Parliament. And we have been discussing with Onyinye Mino and Oluwayomi Samuel. And we have been discussing the topic effects of the IPOB weekly sit at home in the Southeast. So thanks to our panelists. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you to everybody that's participated in this conversation. Tomorrow we are going to be discussing on the Anambra elections properly. We're going to try to have a debate just for the citizens to come out to tell us who they are going to vote and why they are going to vote. And it's still going to be by 2 p.m. tomorrow. And for me, Augusta Nneka, thank you so much.
Bye.